And you're listening to CKUT 90.3 FM. Once again, we are listening to a World Educational Forum on panel discussion, which involves Palestine, and we have some of the members here today. Here's Laith Marouf. Mustafa Henaway, excuse me.
Welcome back, everyone, to Under the Olive Tree here on CKUT 90.3 FM and CFRC 101.9 in Kingston. I just want to follow up with Stefan's point, both for Feroz and Bianca. Stefan's point, talking about sort of it's a very different reality, understanding apartheid, understanding Israeli apartheid, based upon sort of popular education or through other means, but then actually being there on the ground and sort of experiencing that firsthand. So just really want to follow up with the two of you. I mean, Stefan experienced it in a different way, apartheid at the borders, but for the two of you that were able to make it into occupied Palestine, what were those experiences on the grounds in terms of sort of concretely beginning to see into the functioning of Israeli colonialism, apartheid, and, occupation?
First thing that since the non-aligned movement, which was very strong in the days of the Soviet bloc when it existed, after that, the solidarity movement with Palestine was mainly focused within organizations with a single focus on Palestine. And then later, very recently, I would say, after the BDS call for the BDS from Palestine, that the movement built up within organizations which don't have a single Palestine focus, like the trade unions, adopting the BDS sanctions against Israel. And this was, I think, a second leap forward, bringing it into the World Social Forum process. So that, as Stefan said, it's a sign of growth. And I think it's growing very fast. And now that we have brought Palestine into the focus of the World Social Forum process, it was proposed in the plenary session on the 31st October in Ramallah that there will be a World Forum in solidarity with Palestine in 2012. So that's one direct outcome of this forum. The Palestinians also proposed to organize an education boat to Gaza. That was another thing which is being discussed. So in this coming World Social Forum, which will be held in February 2011, in a couple of months in Dakar, Senegal, we are doing, the organizing committee is doing one main program in solidarity with Palestine, and Alternatives International will again bring this agenda to hold the thematic forum on World Forum in solidarity with Palestine in 2012. There are many possible venues, one of them being Brazil, or it could be South Africa. The idea is to bring this issue, put that on the table of vibrant social movements as they exist in South America.
Bianca, maybe just to give your experiences in terms of what took place or what you saw in terms of apartheid on the ground.
Yeah, so my first experiences of apartheid were actually my first day. We exited Ramallah, exited out of the West Bank into Jerusalem, and the Concordia checkpoint was shocking to us. The way in which people were being treated, Palestinians, pushed, shoved, the roadblocks, the parapets, the security machine guns, was very frightening experience, talking to people, Palestinians on the bus who had, for whom it had taken weeks, months sometimes to get passes to be able to go into occupied Palestinian land, Israel, to be able to see sick family members and what have you. So crossing over to witness Israeli apartheid in Israel proper, Palestinian citizens of Israel. My first experience was in Haifa. We went to a group called Baladna, who talked to us about political prisoners in Palestine. The situation for Palestinian citizens is one of apartheid as well in Israel, which is very important in terms of political prisoners. Talked a lot about Amir Mekul, who has been unjustly prosecuted by the government of Israel with little to no evidence against him, accusing him of being a spy. Activists talked about their friends going missing as well, who were bringing the plight of Palestinian citizens of Israel to the international stage. We went to a village in the Negev desert called Al-Arqib. We were greeted by villagers, Bedouin villagers in this village, who showed us the destruction of their land, of their homes. Villagers showed us 40 houses that had been razed to the ground by the Israeli army. This is their land. It's been their land for hundreds of years. They told us that they were not nomadic, and that they had been living there for a very long time, and that they would not leave. At that point, their homes had been razed 6 times. We were shown pictures of their former houses, and the opening ceremony for us took place under a tin roof next to a cemetery, which was the only structure that had not been razed. And there we talked about how there was a project of Judicizing the desert. We were told that almost all the land had been taken, but the Israeli government wanted all of it. And that this process of ethnic cleansing and removal of Bedouin people from this land was something that they were not going to stop resisting. As we walked through the devastated land, we saw schools that had been crushed, puzzle pieces, brightly colored chairs. There were olive trees also uprooted from the ground, their roots, grotesquely in the air. And when you think about the fact that the justification for removing these Bedouin people from the land is to plant trees, to remove people, to be able to plant trees, it's outrageous. And so we left with a profound sense of outrage, but also were quite encouraged as people told us that they were not going to leave. As we were walking through, a little girl was sort of dancing around a shrub, and our translator was translated and told us that she was saying that the tree was growing back, the trees were growing back. So this was really unbelievable to hear about how thousands of soldiers had come to this one village to remove people who were living there. So left embarrassed as well because of the knowledge of how intense the Canadian government support for Israeli apartheid is. So had a lot to think about, particularly with respect to history, which the organizers talked about a lot, and how the history was being erased with the erasure of people as well, and the importance of writing down histories and of education.
So we're going to take a quick break right now. We're still listening to Under the Olive Tree, the Palestinian Community Radio Show on CKUT 90.3 FM in Montreal and CFRC 101.9 FM in Kingston, Ontario. We'll be back after the music.
From Turtle Island to Palestine, occupation is a crime. Free, free Palestine! You're listening to Radio Free Palestine.